The morning mist hovered low over the pond lodge, painting the landscape in silver and gold. The water's surface was perfectly still, a deceptive calm hiding the tension that had been building over months. Karen, driven by obsession and blind ambition, had dispatched phony HOA officers to pursue me at the lodge. They believed that intimidation and force could compel me to comply with rules that were entirely outside their jurisdiction. But they underestimated the meticulous preparation, foresight, and lawful authority that had safeguarded the property for decades. I was walking along the waterfront, surveying sensors and drone positions, when the first signs of pursuit appeared. Dark shapes moving quickly through the treeline, attempting stealthy flanking maneuvers. Drones hovering overhead immediately picked up the intruders, transmitting live feeds to my tactical team stationed strategically across the property. Every potential path they could take had been anticipated, every angle monitored, and every response planned with precision. As the phony officers closed in, confident in their assumed authority, I stepped forward, credentials clearly displayed, voice calm yet commanding. "This is private property. You are trespassing. Any attempt to pursue or detain me is illegal and will be met with immediate lawful and tactical response." For a moment, they hesitated, sensing the authority emanating from my presence. But confidence quickly returned, fueled by Karen's frantic instructions over the radio. They pressed forward, unaware that the estate was fully prepared for exactly this scenario. I signaled subtly, and the tactical squad moved into position. Former Marines, law enforcement veterans, and trained family members intercepted the intruder's path with precise coordination. The officers thought they could corner me near the northern dock, but they walked straight into a carefully orchestrated trap. A perimeter secured by sensors, drones, and strategically placed barriers. Their every movement had been anticipated and recorded. Drones captured the entire confrontation, documenting the phony officers' approach, hesitation, and ultimate failure. As they attempted to regroup and advance, non-lethal measures were employed, barriers deployed, paths blocked, and routes guided to safe retreat zones, leaving them disoriented, humiliated, and entirely powerless. Karen, observing from her vehicle, panicked as she realized the officers were not returning with success. Her orders had been rendered meaningless, her obsession exposed. She shouted into her phone, demanding intervention, but the law enforcement authorities were already aware of the estate's private status, my credentials, and the legitimacy of my actions. Any further escalation on her part would only compound her exposure to liability and federal scrutiny. I walked calmly along the dock, the pond reflecting the rising sun, as my spouse and infant followed safely behind. "She never learns?" I murmured, watching Karen's loyalists retreat, their arrogance replaced with confusion and fear. "No," my spouse replied. "Every attempt she makes only highlights her obsession and reinforces the importance of preparation, authority, and strategy. Aggression is powerless against foresight." By late morning, the lodge was once again serene. The pond shimmered in the sunlight, the estate intact, and the family secure. Karen's interference had been completely neutralized, her authority discredited, and her obsession fully exposed. Tactical readiness, legal authority, and meticulous planning had preserved the lodge, the waterfront, and the grounds against reckless ambition. The phony HOA officers, defeated and documented, became evidence of her repeated harassment and unlawful actions. Every move they made, every attempt to intimidate, had played directly into the strategy that ensured their failure. Karen's obsession had backfired spectacularly, leaving the property, the family, and the lodge secure once more, untouchable against her relentless, misguided attempts at control.